Goddamn headphones.
Hey. What's up, Ace? Carson MC. Hey. Starting early. I tell you, you try to clean the house and you see a nice little debate on somebody's channel. Gotta love it. Normally, I would actually start with the music, but I know BGS is going to be doing a live stream and everybody's going to be there. That's going to eat up nothing but subscribers. So, might as well get my recap of Hammer's program. Woo! What's up, Little Rock? You're had a nice conversation with a young lady named Letitia. I got to look at it. All right. I know for one damn thing, it's amazing how you talk to someone about logic and historical facts, and they constantly, and I mean constantly, try to debunk you. I don't know why. Hey, Miss Gigi. I don't know why that this female had it out. I won't even say had it out, but the conversation in particular was very interesting. First and foremost, it's funny how you still have black women out there who do not understand historical fact or data. Damn stuffy nose. We still don't understand that. We still believe that all these guys having children, which is not a lot of guys in the black community. We have a large contingency of black women who wants to have babies and not be married. I don't know why. The lady on there was trying to bring up something about emotional and saying that black women, you think black women are useless. I didn't say that, but you're sure as hell making yourself, in a way, not useful to black men. You're about to be in a state of obsolescence, obsolete. What happens when they come out with these artificial wombs? What happens? What happens to when black men overall say, hey, we're tired of our treatment. We're tired of people lying on us saying that we're so abusive. Obviously, you never seen how Hispanic men deal with their women. Obviously, you have not. No white. What's up, who is Cunha? Ooh, simplify. Obviously, you have not seen how other races of men deal with their women, but you're complaining about us. Like I told her, I said, hey, there's too many of you who get a good man and will divorce them for the littlest, stupidest shit. We're not ending marriages. We're not looking for divorce. It's very rare we have a black man looking for a divorce. It's messed up. Think about that. It's pretty damn messed up that we still look upon our men in this fashion. But yet, out the next thing, this lady will say, we need to join together. And I told her very logically, black men stepped up to the plate and showed that we're the shit. It's your turn. Why is it every time we gotta do? Well, why is it that we get women that are not physically fit? We get women with bad attitudes. Of course, in my channel, we're smart enough to know it's not all. But yet, but yet, we're the ones who have to put up with so much just to get a cooperative woman. When every other race of man, all they have to do is exist. Men who don't even make anywhere near as much as we do get more respect than us. Then they try to say, hey, you wanted the babies. Well, we carry babies and you wouldn't be here without us. Well, you wouldn't be here without us either. Especially if you don't have the sperm. That's where life starts. Not my thoughts, not your thoughts. That's what science says. Boom. Hey, just Black Swan. And it's funny because I know there's black women who do their thing, raise children, love their husbands or boyfriends, and are not bitchy about it. They actually enjoy it. But a lot of them, they're not stepping up to the plate. If I had a daughter, I would have to teach her the benefits of physical fitness, just like I would teach my son. You want the best possible mate you could get, you have to be in the best possible shape starting out. Well, you don't need a man that makes a lot of money. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but a good amount of money, you're living a little bit better. Can't live off of thank yous and please and appraisals. You get so many people who want to talk about the black men need to step up, but then we need to join together. Which one is it? It's like I asked Miss Toya, or not Toya, not our Toya, but what was it, Latasha? Yeah, Miss Latasha. Miss Latasha, why don't you give those sons back to their fathers? Well, you need both. Oh, oh, you need both, right? That's cool, but how many times have that boy go through something that you'll never go through because he's a black male and you're not? Yet you only keep that boy there as a pawn because you want to have him. You want to have him there just because you don't have a man in the house. How many times does the child want to live with the father because the mother is too chaotic? We've been raising families. We've been doing this. No, you haven't. Maintaining a child is different from raising a child. Remember that. Just because you buy a child expensive clothing does not mean you care about him. Just because you put your son through a basketball camp doesn't mean you're raising him. See, you don't give your children a sense of duty, then you're not properly raising your children. If you don't give them a moral compass, you're not properly raising your children. And I'm getting tired speaking to these women who you can debunk very easily, by the way, by being logical. She says, oh, so you don't want a relationship out of love. See, that's the problem. We allowed all these women to pick from love. What good is love when you can't pay the bills? Because obviously, if you wanted love, then why do you divorce the most? You only love him for a short duration, almost to the point of delirium. And when you get upset and you're into your total ego, that's when you ultimately don't want to be with him. I think it's quite funny that when I was talking to her on Hammer's channel, there wasn't one question I couldn't answer or debunk. But when it came to her, it's always some type of deflection. Always. Matter of fact, this is going to be the screen while I'm talking, because this is what we go through. It's always this damn deflection. Never an answer. It's always that. You know why? Because they know the truth. I refuse to talk to women like they're idiots, because they're not. They know they're poor. They poorly chose. They know that they weren't looking for the best possible husband or father because they were told they didn't need one. It's funny that you want your kids, but you want him to pay child support. You want black men to step up, but you can stay the same. That doesn't work. That's being futile. You literally want a man that outranks you while you can be the overweight heifer. While you can be disingenuous, non-caring, non-loving. And this is just to the children, not even the man. You want the same type of woman who will fix food for the children and herself, and tell the man who's paying the bills he's got to go pick up something to eat. I've asked her this. Give me a reason why we should marry if we know that there's an 80% chance that you'll get divorced. Would you go to, and I asked her, would you go to Vegas with 80% odds you'll lose? Would you gamble? No. Then what the fuck you expect us to do? It's okay for us to put our fucking livelihoods, our money, our savings, our fucking lives on the deck. But it's not okay for you. It's not okay for you. See, these are the important reasons why you need to ask the questions properly, so you can at least see what type of chaotic person you're going to be speaking with. Think about it. You want us to play boo boo the fool and give, when the only thing we get in return are bills, content, headaches, non-cooperative, non-submissive. We get all this shit in return. Jill said, you did yo Shubba's work earlier today on the other channel. Also fault the bravo. No way for the black woman to run down. The cat's out the bag. Exactly, and thank you. I try to, use my logic over emotions. You have to learn how to ask these questions. For all the young men who are unmarried but dating, learn how to ask blunt questions and stop them from bouncing. It'll save you a lot of taking my words out, heartache and pain. It's okay for you to throw away your life. Ooh, nah, go Ravens. Stomping you out like a pistol test out of it, boy. It's okay for you to be thrown around, discarded, killed by your brother, the police, even your woman. Women are supposed to be emotional, but yet they're supposed to know when to keep those emotions in check as well, Miss GG. See, the only reason a lot of women want to get together is not because we form a stronger unit. In my professional opinion, it's to, number one, point the blame on someone else. It's to make sure that man can be looked at and it's his fault. He wasn't the leader. But you're not telling the whole story. You weren't listening to your leaders. That's what we don't want to say. You never listen to your leaders. You don't want us to be your leaders. To be truthful, you don't even want to have our children, but you're stuck with like a Chuck. Not all of them, but a lot of them. It's not about men wanting women to be perfect. It's men wanting women to give them the best that they got. Because normally we got to go give you the best that we got and do it in a more dangerous atmosphere. Remember that. the fucked up part about it is that nobody's taken away from women. You're the masters of the unknown, which is the emotion. But like Rael said, you can't be irrational. See, it is not our jobs to make you wives, to train you to be wives. As the master teacher BGS once stated, you're supposed to be fit for duty. Let's be fair. If you pick a husband, should you be training him how to be a husband? Or should he know what the fuck to do? How would that look? You blow a tire, it needs to be changed, and he's looking at you like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. You didn't vet this nigga to make sure he could change a tire? You didn't ask? Start to believe some of you got this any man will do syndrome. Well, we get these weak ass niggas. She tried to use that excuse. I said, no, you picked those weak ass niggas. Women can't complain about what they didn't pick well. What's up, Jeff? Woo. Ingo Savage. Artisan. You can't complain about the men you pick. So if you were in the military, you're not going to pick the great of the great. You're not going to pick the best warriors. So why the fuck would you give them the option of the greatest gift occurring to their babies? Name her. Woo. You're right. I thought I was listening to the late Johnny Cochran closing statement. You laid all the facts. All she did was deflect. But everything you said, it was painful listening to her excuses. Exactly. Everything she wants to come, everything she wants to come out of her mouth, man, wanted to be an excuse. What did you do? Did you pick well? See, at least when brothers fuck up, we'll tell you the reasons why we picked it. It was that ass or that pussy, man. It's the sex. I know, I fucked up. Shouldn't have got her pregnant. At least brothers will say that. You ask a female the same thing. Well, you know how men be playing tricks on you. Really? Now we're some type of magicians or some shit. Some type of wizards. You know, we were blessed with the powers of Charles Xavier, Professor X, and take over her mind. Hmm. You get put into this paradox of saying, why don't you blame yourself? Is it true that men can never truly be victims? I really doubt she'll show up here. I sincerely doubt that. Well, you gotta think about it. There's a reason why they're not gonna give their boys up. Because they're afraid that all the men in their life will leave them. They're afraid that I couldn't keep your daddy. The next best thing is you. So now I have to keep something around since my personality will not let me be docile, be feminine. As a matter of fact, a lot of you who've been on Hammer's channel heard what you sounded like. Excuse me. She was looking for a fight. She doesn't even know how to attract a man. She tried to use combat to get a man. She wanted to argue. She wanted to go back and forth. Even when she was caught dead to rights wrong, she couldn't admit it. If Chaos is listening, Chaos Reign, I want you to go to Hammer's last video because we're doing the volume 3 of the greatest hits of Charles Faulkner Jr. Volume 3. Already destroyed Cynthia G with volume 1 and 2 when I went back and forth with her. Shit. This ain't this is not hard, fellas. Debunking bullshit. What's up, AL? What's up, Knucklehead? I'm only here to tell you to look out for what you need to look out for. There are very few of these women who are on your side. Very few. If her background doesn't check out, then you check out. I'm tired of good black men getting raked over the coals over someone who never respected them in the first place. The same way I would stand up for black women. Well, we all need to come together. Why should we if every time we came together, you gave me your ass to kiss? Why should we? Remember, you are the ones who killed my brother's keeper. You are the ones who are allowing the boys not to graduate. It's you. It's not us. It's you. You rather sit and wallow in your obsolescence than actually be the servants of greatness. That's you. Then, when she tried to use the poor ass excuse, oh, so we got a bunch of weak ass men out here. Well, I think that's the men's fault. No, that's the women's fault once again. That's the women's fault once again. You're trying to say why we got weak ass men. It's the same reason why you won't give those boys to their father. What did Shahrazad Ali say 30 years ago? They're being raised around the women and becoming bitchy. That's not a reaction of the men not teaching. That's a lack of masculinity, period. It comes a point in time when everything you state has to be judged by wise counsel. And everything she stated was not only a lie, but also just the representation of falsehoods. Like, share, subscribe, donate to the stream. You can't allow these motherfuckers to come in these panels and talk their bullshit for very long. You don't even get emotional. You don't need to cuss them out. But what you do need to do is challenge the logic, challenge the validity, challenge to see if what they're saying is absolute truth, which it usually is not. Think about that, folks. Majority of the shit these people tell you are falsehoods. When they are trying to undermine the black male's experience, they're trying to undermine. Let me read what Ryle said. After they ruin the boys, they give them to their fathers like Trayvon's mom did when he was already too far gone. She expected him to work him. Exactly. You want us to play sheriff 15 years later when you already broke the child. You want the father to step in after the little motherfucker has a record. I tried my best. No, you did not. Let's stop that bullshit right there. I worked inside the school system as a coach. Plenty of your damn kids, plenty of your damn children are destroyed. Not because they have a lack of a father, it's because they have an overbearing mother who will shoot them down the minute she thinks that boy is smarter. But as long as that boy can put a fucking ball through a hoop or run it 100 meters up and somehow get rich enough to pull her stupid ass out the ghetto, she'll allow that. She'll pay thousands of dollars for the AAU, sports teams, but not the same amount for tutoring. Ain't that about a bitch? How did you keep it together without blowing a gasket off so fucking easy? Just the facts. Just the facts. What's up, Lando? Corey? It's easy. You already know what she's saying is idiotic. All you got to do is stick to the truth. Ask her specific questions. When she tried to run away from it, get a yes or no response. Don't let her go through the buts. Don't let them go through the circular arguments, because after that, that'll make you upset. What you do is you approach it like a wrestling match. You tack with a game plan. Right, stupid. Don't tell my baby what to do. You ain't his daddy, while simultaneously asking for male mentors for their sons. So stepfathers can't be mentors but a stranger. What the fuck? Exactamundo. Because a stepfather is somebody who's going to be the least respected man in that boy's life. The least respected. There's the lady of the hour. What excuse did you make? You made a lot of excuses, young lady. Number one, you try to put a lot of this shit on the men. When first of all, women were given carte blanche over their systems since the 60s. Have you noticed that the black community, when women started getting all these rights, went to shit? You make up these lies about being the most educated, which is not true. They're the most enrolled. White women and Asian women still hold you by a far margin of degrees. What's up, Mike? Then, When you said we have a lot of bitch ass niggas in the community, that was an excuse because that's not the fault of the men. That's the fault of the women. Women cannot teach boys how to be men. Absolutely cannot fucking not. When you keep a boy from his rite of passage to join the men, you stifle his growth forever. Now he has to play catch up. You want him to be this kick-ass male to go compete against the Asian man, the white man, the Arabic man, the Native American man, other black men who are not from this country. How the fuck do you expect him to compete if you keep making him a bitch? I've always told you, a man should be effective, efficient, and even when it's called upon, ruthless. See, you know what? Yep, great minds think alike, Mike. See, this is the craziest part about it. I refuse to let black men alleviate from their faults. See, I hold brothers accountable. I hold myself accountable. But you better believe if you say you belong to us, then guess what? By your definition, guess what, sister? We get to criticize and critique you. There's an old saying that we live by. It ain't fun when the rabbit gets the gun, is it, Mr. McGregor? See, for the longest time, black women been like Mr. McGregor to Peter Cottontail, stay the fuck out of my yard. Peter Cottontail grabbed his nuts, took out one of the guns of his own and said, nah, you're going to give me what the fuck you owe. How did our men make it? Oh, I'm glad you asked that because it was you who joined Gloria Steinem and Michelle Wallace and them other goddamn feminists. How, matter of fact, black women, how dare you allow white women to put their fucking fist in the air? Because black women with some culture and some sense would have slapped the shit out of her. It was you, black woman, who listened ear to ear to the white woman. Don't give them jobs to your men. They're going to rule over you. When it was your men keeping y'all fucking float. I didn't see too many black women out there. Well, Rosa Parks, did she face racism? Of course she did. she lived in she lived in the fucking in a separate but equal state during her time. But you're really gonna call that as the fucking level of racism black men faced throughout this whole country? They never made laws from black women marrying and dating white men. But they sure as hell said black men cannot date who the fuck they want. Now, if you want to join this panel, be my guest. Only Latasha for right now to join this panel. If y'all join, you're gonna be in the background for a little minute. In the backstage. Exactly, Mike. But they don't see this. The US government have been trying to mine the money of men and put it in women's hands because they know women are the number one consumers. You ever notice 90% of the commercials are towards women? Because you spend, spend, spend. Come on, Latasha. No. See, we gotta highlight this. She stated, "I'm not a feminist." By your logic, most of the men on the panel ain't shit. Most were raised by single mothers. See, I'm gonna answer this to you live in a living color. Number one, A lot of your ideology you get from school are feminist ideology that you made it all by yourself. You don't need a man. But I'm here to tell you, that's bullshit. And I can prove it.
I'm not a feminist. I'm not a feminist. So let me just go and say that. I
No, no,
understand you
no,
have
no.
a.
I was not finished, young lady, was I?
Go ahead. I'm listening.
We're not gonna yell. These are the ground rules. We're gonna keep our voices at a minimum. Number one, how old are you?
36.
36. I'm 39. Have you went to public school?
Yep.
So, were you taught that boys and girls were equal and could do the same thing?
Mm, yeah, I would say that.
So guess what? That's part of feminist ideology.
I understand the whole perspective. I get what you're saying. But the part where you say men, I do agree men or boys need their fathers, but you're like, you act as if the women are obsolete, like the mothers don't need to be a part of the
Did I? No,
upbringing.
no,
I
no,
don't
no, no.
understand
We're
that.
gonna stop you. We're gonna stop you right there. I want you to repeat verbatim what I said on Hammer's channel.
On Hammer's channel, you said that boys need to go with their fathers, and that
Does
boy
that
the
mean that? Now, stop, because you're going too far to deep
go
hole.
ahead.
Does that mean he does not see his mother?
No, that does not mean he does not see his mother. But
So, was I talking into the absolute, or does because he's a male and he needs to be able to challenge other males of other races, even the males within his own race, would he have a better possible shot of learning from the rites of passage that his father will put him through or the ones his mother will put him through?
okay, so you want to put me in a corner?
I
Fine.
didn't put you in a
I
corner.
I
I
I
just
will
gave you a
agree.
question.
No, I'm gonna agree with that because that's the truth. He will learn how to, maneuver his way in life as a man by his father. I agree with that.
So I never, not one time, said the mother is not important. It was black men who even stated that the mother is the first teacher, correct?
This is true, but when I said something about joint custody, what did you say?
I said the boy needs to be with his father mostly. Guess what? If it's a school year and you get the summer with him, I think that's more than fair.
I think that's ridiculous.
Why? Because you have women in the black community who keep their sons and daughters away from their father. Absolutely.
So why would you perpetuate that ideology?
In other words, at least they get to see the mother. See, you got to understand what happens scientifically to boys when they're around their mother too much. They become less daring. They become scared. They become afraid. They don't want to become the men that they ought to be. You know what the SAS is?
No,
If
what
I'm
is the
not,
answer?
the SAS is the Special Air Service, the British Special Forces. Their motto is "He who dares wins." One thing about life, you're supposed to train your boys to be daring. The last one. Thanks. And then on top of that, you're gonna make your son soft because guess what mothers do? Do mothers force their sons to be great and bold, or do they try to nurture them?
I think it could be a mixture of the two. Because we all had those moms where we was very fearful of disobeying our moms and not listening. And we had those moms that would lay lay that belt on you if you were not listening, if you disobeyed.
And let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed studies say that fathers don't have to beat their children as much as the mothers? You wonder why?
I would like to hear. Let me hear you. Let me hear you tell me
Number
why.
one is because they can logically go through and analyze what's going on. Because men carry a certain baritone in their voice which children understand. Women have to try to beat up their children. Have you ever noticed why you don't have a lot of black mothers putting their kids through martial arts? Because they think that if he learns how to fight, I wouldn't be able to control him. First of all, a lot of times in the black community, let's just tell the truth, that discipline was not with love, and it was actually just abuse because of frustration. A lot of mothers beat their children, not out of discipline, just out of frustration. Just like we have to deal with women, same thing we have to deal with children. We have to learn from patience.
So, do you disagree with spanking? I mean, do you disagree with that?
No, that's a last resort, not the first. A lot of black mothers use that. They'll hit their children as the first remark. It's not like we live in
Okay,
a different
that's
culture, do we? And you're from where?
where am I? I'm from North Carolina.
What part?
I'm around Greensboro, Charlotte, metro area. Yep.
Mm-hmm. My grandfather's from Windsor. I'm gonna put it to you this way: a lot of things that go in the black community is asked backwards. Why should I be afraid of my mother? Any boy who's around his mother long enough, he toughens the fuck up. And she hits him, they'll fake like it hurts, even with a belt. But it's a lot different than disappointing your father. Then on top of that, your father, if he wanted to, could cave in your goddamn chest and not a goddamn thing you could do about it. But that's the last resort. When your father gives you a
So let me.
lecture and show you how much you dishonored him and the family and him and yourself, that makes a difference. Go ahead.
Okay, so my question is to you: why are you so hard on a woman who stayed there with the child versus the male who left the child?
Because let's tell the facts, right? If men had a choice to abort the baby or the woman, which one do you think they'll take?
I mean, according to you, it's probably
No, no,
gonna
no, no.
abort the woman.
I want you to use. So in other words, they wouldn't leave their children, right?
I
Right.
mean, given the circumstances, you're
So who makes it
saying
harder? So who makes it harder to even see the children? And who says the men leave anyway? Who says there's plenty of times you've seen the man come home from work smiling, and next thing you know, all his shit is gone.
because I
She
feel like
disappeared.
you are not admitting
You
to the fact
feel?
that
No, no, let's see. Do you feel, or is it what it is? We go
well,
off of
this is
fact.
what it
We go off
is.
of facts,
This
not
is what it
feelings.
is. You can't keep trying to put a placeholder in the reasons why a man is not in a child's life, regardless of if you don't have to go through the mother to be in a child's life. You can go visit your child in school, daycare. There are ways where you can visit your
Do
child
you
without
know?
having
Do
a
you
mother
know how
present.
many? Do you know how many of these schools, if the mother say this person can't see the child, they will actually keep it that way?
That's
Who do you think
illegal
that
unless
school's
it's in
going
a
to
court
listen?
order.
No, they could actually say that to the parents. So you're telling me that you could go see this child? Is going to see that child as important as the child living with them? But then when the child becomes a holy terror to the community, that's when you want to give the child away. I've noticed this in the black community. When the child becomes a success, mama wants to take all the credit. when the child becomes a holy nightmare and terror, the third fucking Reich, it's because his father wasn't in his life. Pick a struggle. Because number one, we're going to tell some real honest stories. These men are not leaving their children. You got plenty of mothers who say, you ain't pay child support, so you can't see your child. The fuck is up with that? Then you think, number one, automatically, the child is yours and not ours. You'll have many of men who make damn good money, even more so than the mother or anybody else in the family, but somehow the courts will rule in your fucking favor 90% of the time, and we got to give money from out our household to give to you, when the child would have had a better life with the father. Then you want to say, well, we raising some bitch ass boys. I wonder why. Because guess who you're under? You didn't decide to stay together. So that child who's a male need to be with the adult male predominantly.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is I'm going to always say joint. I'm never going to say that the father, I believe in a balance. And I believe that, again, you're not taking an accountability that a lot of people are out here having promiscuous sex when, truth be told, people out here having sex by people they really shouldn't be having sex by, having babies by.
I said that. Let me ask you something. When I made the statement, the greatest gift a mother can bring to her child is to give that child the best possible father she can. What does that state to you?
I'm sorry, your speaker is a little bit. What's the last thing you said?
If I say to you what I said to you in Hammer's Chattel, if the best possible gift a mother can bring a child is the best possible father she can get, what does that sing to you?
Uh, what I take from that is you're trying to say that a woman needs to be accountable for who she chooses to lay down with.
Should she?
Yes, she should.
So where am I wrong in that?
Well, where you're wrong at is you didn't hear me say about the representative. A lot of people claim to be perfect at the beginning. It's always roses at the beginning until maybe 6 months to a year later, a person changes.
So let me ask you this question. I'm not wrong in that, number one. Number two, why would you give that person a baby before you get a commitment?
Okay, have you ever heard of the honeymoon phase? You have honeymoon phases in relationships. Things are great at the beginning.
So in other words, you're telling me if you're engaged, let me see something. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with your mic over there, but it's like choppy. If you're engaged, yeah, you gotta mute yourself till then. You gotta mute yourself till you're ready to speak because your mic is choppy. You might have to unplug and plug it back in. If you're gonna be engaged for a year, maybe a year and a half, 2 years, that should be more than enough time to gauge a person. Hell, within the first 6 months, by first argument and see how that's dealt with. Now, are we getting this? Are we in a culture where we're vetting each other, or is it just lackadaisical sex? Which one would you say? Oh, she disappeared. She disappeared. There's the Cash App for people who want to donate because, don't make me start doing my Kevin Samuel shit when I take the show on fucking Instagram, man. Like, I'll put the link back in. Just for the viewership, how do you think I was doing with this debate? How do you think I was doing with this debate? Because I think your boy still got the title. I think he's still kind of undefeated. Just saying. Not trying to toot my own horn, but toot toot. Natasha, come back. I think I'm still a little undefeated. You know, too hot to handle, too cold to hold. You know, kind of come on. Did you get the mic stuff situated?
Yeah, I just kind of clicked back out and now I'm back on. So, okay.
But at the same time, tell me where I'm wrong. Can he what? I guess. All right. I'll talk to you a little bit. Sonny boy, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, my son does predominantly live with me. Now.
So let me ask you this: if you had a daughter, do you feel like your daughter should stay with you predominantly, or the woman?
The woman. But if you're incapable of raising that child, I will do the same thing and take my child from you. And there will be times when I still see that child. If you're saying to me, making excuses, I can't raise this child by myself, and I'm gonna show it and let daddy show you how it's done, baby.
I feel like it should be split down the middle. The same thing I said for the boy.
Why do you think it should be split down the
girl.
middle? Why do you think it should be split down the middle?
Because it's some aspects that the woman's going to need her father to teach her. A woman needs her father to teach her, you know, certain things to look out for with men. You keep talking about how a woman needs to be held accountable and how a woman should vet her man. Then wouldn't you be the great teacher? Wouldn't you be the great one to show her what she should be looking for?
Didn't I say that beforehand? Didn't I say how many men? Didn't I say that how many of you women out there present your boyfriends or fiancés in front of your father? But I also say this: do you make fatherhood look like it's not needed in the Black community?
No, and what you're going to learn is by listening to you. I actually agree with a lot of things that you're saying. I just don't agree with the whole predominantly men having to go. But
so you're
wouldn't have
telling
never
me,
known
right?
that on the platform.
So wait.
You wouldn't have never
wait
known
a
that on
minute.
his
Wait a
platform.
minute. So wait a
Go
minute.
ahead.
Wait a minute. So you're gonna tell me that we put fatherhood in high esteem in the Black community?
No, not like we should. And you know what? We as women need to do better, but you don't allow us to. By how you're talking, we need to do better. But you want to allow?
Wait a minute. Hold on. Held on. We're not gonna skip that bullshit. We're not gonna skip that bullshit that you just stated. We don't allow you. Are you not allowed to think on your own? Are you not allowed to make a decision? Are you not allowed to choose the whether if you're going to be fat or skinny, in shape, nice, mean, or whatever? Are you, because guess what? We allowed you to go get degrees. We allowed you to actually say your body, your choice. So guess what? Whatever choice you make, you got to eat it and sleep with it. The problem is you don't allow yourself to fix what is fucked up. So you cannot say we allow you. You know goddamn well. No. You don't allow fatherhood to be prevalent in the black community because, one, you want to take all the glory and none of the accountability. That's what it is.
See, I'm not gonna be able to argue this point with you because I agree with what you're saying with our community. I do. So I'm not gonna be able to argue.
So
that
how
point.
did we allow? So who's the leaders of the community? Black men or black women?
We need the black men to be the leaders of the community. That's
not my question. Who are the leaders of the black community?
Neither. I don't
Stop
feel like
the
we're
bullshit.
leading anything. We're not.
No, it's not what you feel. It's not what you feel. Who are the leaders of the black community? That is not how you. That's not what. It's not about how you feel. It's what it is.
So are you gonna? I mean, what is your answer? Are you saying women? They're the leaders.
Black women are the leaders of the black community. Yep. Because let me ask you something. Are you propping up men in the black community or women?
How can we prop up men when you're trying to divide us? Sir, are
no. I'm not trying to divide us. I'm trying to actually. No, I'm not. Let me tell you what you're trying to divide us for. Because you don't believe a man has a fair say, and equal shake in this fucking country. So why not answer this shit, right? Just say you don't think men should be the leaders of black women. Because if you really did think we're the leaders of the black community, you would act like it. Because you would not talk this type of rhetoric about your men. Let's take the men out the equation, right? Let's talk about the sons you raise. It's a goddamn shame in the black community. Only 10% of our black boys who reach the 8th grade can read on level. But you want to talk about those are the leaders. If those are the leaders, we're already lost the war. You want to talk about tearing us down? When the hell are you going to build better sons? But then you get mad when I say give the sons to their father. Let them have a crack at it since y'all been miserable at it for the last 40-something years, 50 years. Even with the women you get even with the women who get the degrees, you get them in nothing fucking degrees. The hell you gonna do with a
biology? Shaquille O'Neal? Are you gonna discredit the Lamont Hills and all these other men in Atlanta who
No.
Are we gonna
Shaquille O'Neal's an athlete, so a lot of those genetics came from daddy. So please make a better shit about that. Okay?
But look at how many other business owners that have made it, and they stem from single parent mothers. How are we discrediting them?
Yeah, name me a couple of them.
Are we?
Name me a couple of them.
I did.
We could go to Kanye, but his mother was siphoning money from him, and Kanye had so many mental issues because of dealing with his mother. Okay, let's look at LeBron. His own fucking mother almost ruined his fucking career from being a whore. Who the hell's gonna sleep with your guy? You think that's somebody we should praise? Your mother sleeping with your coworkers? Okay. Let's look at Zion, right? He's thanking his mother, but his mother didn't put not one ball through a hoop with him when it was his goddamn stepfather and coach who made him a millionaire overnight. That's how you know the indoctrination of the black community is fucking serious. But yet, when you have many of the black men in the community who don't get thanked. Not just the fathers, but also the father figures and coaches. But here comes mom. Oh, my baby made it. I supported him. No, you didn't. Look at Kevin. Look at look at KD. Kevin Durant. He's the fucking oldest, and she put all that fucking pressure on him like he's the man. Like he's the one who sired a child. She put more pressure on him by having more children. That's what the community's about. Fuck what the boy thinks. Fuck what the man thinks. If it doesn't serve me and my purpose, it can all go to hell.
Come on now. You know, people that you look
Come
around
on now.
to,
Come on now. Fucking suck. You know single mothers are the worst. You know single mothers are the worst, man. You know that.
No, they not the worst. They not the worst.
They are the worst. You
How
know
could
that.
You say that? Like your people that you probably grew up with, they probably were good people, and they were raised by single mothers.
They said my mother robbed me of my goddamn father. I just had the discussion yesterday with them.
But that's
single mothers are one of the fucking poisons of our community. How the fuck can you ask for real men when you fucking dismiss them as soon as you fucking give birth? You don't even care who's the father of the baby as long as you have the baby. Because if you can't womb hustle the nigga, you sure as hell gonna womb hustle the state.
Yeah, I definitely can't. I can't argue with what you're saying.
So you can't argue with it, but am I lying?
No, you're not lying. I think that we have a lot of healing and a lot of different symptoms that we deal with in the black community.
I want you to look at black men, and I want you to speak to random black men and ask them a question. Ask them if they have children, and ask them. No. Ask them if they're given a fair shot to raising their children, or they always got to suffer under fucking child support. See, the one thing I learned about women historically, women could give a damn less about men until they got to go through the same shit we do. I don't know if you're on your phone texting, but that's creating a lot of static.
No, I'm not texting. I'm just holding the phone. Do you still hear static?
A little bit. But yet, all the cries of black men are fell on deaf ears. For what? You've already said that the men, if they went to the abortion clinic, who would they rather have, the woman or the child? So they're okay with their children. Give us women who are ready to be wives, and give us women who are ready to be mothers, and do their due diligence and duty, just like the men should and have been doing. You're what, 36, so you grew up in the same age bracket, right? You remember all the Ricky Lakes, the Donahues, the Sally Jesse Raphaels, the Oprahs, black men ain't shit, the false narrative that they gave about us, that we weren't good fathers, till the CDC checked and said, we're the #1 fathers on the planet, the most involved. The children live with us the most. But compared to Hispanic men who are more abusive than anybody, white men who are just as abusive, Asian men who just ignores the whole fucking family, y'all can't even deal with black men who are the most actual egalitarian man on the planet? Really? Really? I'm just waiting for this one.
You know, it don't matter what I'm gonna say, because you're just so
no. I want you to prove me wrong.
Women, we love
just because
black
you disagree. No, prove me wrong. No, it's not about you agreeing. Prove me wrong. You know, it's funny as hell.
We are still
Y'all
marrying
rather
black men. Black men are still marrying black women, and black women are still marrying. That means that we don't want to give up
But
on each
guess what?
other. So
But
what are you
guess what?
saying?
Who's
The
filing? But
statistic
who's filing for
doesn't
the?
say that.
But the statistics say who's filing for divorce. When 80% of black women are filing for divorce. Marriage is actually going down.
Because what you want to do is you're not looking at
I've
why
looked
they're
at them.
filing for divorce. That's the problem.
I've looked at, but guess what? 80% of women, 80% of black women are filing for fucking divorce. So that means only 20% of the men. Because she could do it because of no fault. When you started with no fault divorce, do you need a reason to have a divorce? Oh, I'm not in love with you. I want a divorce.
But are you really going to tell me women just want to they just want to get a divorce? They just want a divorce.
Because majority of black men, black women
really
only want to be, majority of you only want a wedding, not a marriage. It's your day, remember?
No.
Majority of you really don't want to be married. Do you want to be under, do you really want to be under the leadership of black men?
I do.
Do majority of black women want to?
Yes, they do.
Prove it.
Prove it.
Prove it.
I can't, because all you want to do is look at the statistics on the marriage.
No. Come on.
I'm even looking at the Kevin Samuels. Women want to be validated.
Right now, if this you're trying to debate me, and right now it's a homicide. No, prove it. Because guess what? Even if we went by Kevin's alone, how many of these women say I left my man because they thought they could do better? But once they got back out here with multiple kids, much bigger, much older, they found out you don't get the same deal that you got when you went into that marriage, do you? So prove it. If you really want to be with your men, why are you divorcing them?
I'm going to have to disagree. I don't even think marriages are happening. I don't even think a lot of marriages. There are not even a lot of marriages to even give an accurate answer to that.
So let me put it to you this way.
That's what I'm saying.
From 1890 to 1980, black people at the least 80%, at the most 90% married. Your age and my age, we would have been married. Okay? Now, when you get to the late 1980s, early 90s, only less than 25% of black women will ever be married in their lifetime. You'd rather be a mother than a wife.
That's not true.
That is true. Black women rather be mothers than wives.
That's not true.
That's bullshit, and you know it. That's bullshit, and you know it.
The majority of women want to be married. They want a man. And women, most men, they don't want to be. They do whatever
so where the hell? So what is what's the duties of a wife?
What's the duties of a wife?
Yes.
To love, nurture, and protect her home. To be the counsel to her husband.
To be the helpmate, right?
Of course.
How helpful are black women to black men in the last 40 years?
If you're going to always look at the worst in
I'm asking you a question. I didn't say anything good, bad, or ugly. I'm asking you a question. Repeat my question, please.
How helpful have black women been to black men in the last 40 years?
Mm-hmm. Does that scream negative or positive in that statement, in that question?
Positive.
No, that's a question. Is it negative or positive? Or is it neutral?
I'm telling you, I say it's positive. You say it's negative.
Show me where it's been positive.
It's been positive because we have nurtured and we've taken care of you. We could have easily had an abortion, not had you at all, not taking care of you. We can easily put you up for adoption.
Let me put
We
it to
can
you this way:
easily
we're
not
not
take
talking
care of
about the
you.
children you're raising. Have you been? Because guess what? Y'all do have a high abortion rate percentage-wise compared to everybody else. So let's not talk about that. When have you been a helpmate to black men?
You know, we haven't been a helpmate for each other. That's the truth.
No, 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 no. God damn it, no. Stop trying to do it. Don't do it. We're not going to allow you to do it. When have black women fulfilled their role as wife to black men? I'll wait.
We haven't. We haven't because it has not existed. And that's what I'm saying. And the little bit that it has existed, we divorced. That's what you're saying. So go ahead. I'm listening.
So, black men don't have a reason to complain if you're not fulfilling the job that we said that you're supposed to be prescribing for?
Black men, you can say what you need to say, but at the same token, you can't just stop there. And that's what I see that you're doing. You're stopping.
Stop where?
There. You're not.
Stop where?
You're just saying, men, we need to complain about the things that women are doing, but you're failing to say what the solution needs to be so that we can come together. And that's the issue that I have with you and this platform.
Number one, let's talk about this brass tacks. Black men have always been the shitted upon. Like I told you earlier. You remember all those talk shows that talk shit about us? Remember black women would go into movies like these niggas ain't shit? You know what black men did? Because I've always get this from a lot of black women I speak with. You internalize every damn thing I say. Number one, black men said, you know what? Maybe there's something to this. We're going to be the best fathers that we can be. And in turn, in 25 years, they found out that black men were the best involved fathers. So, with all this involvement, we got to say, wait a minute, how come our boys aren't doing so well? Come to find out, we go look at the mothers. The mothers ignore their boys. Here, you think about it. I'm going to ask you once again, what's the equivalent of black girl magic for black boys? Bueller?
I would say there is no equivalency. I would say
Why
that
not?
I guess at this point you guys are starting to.
Have you ever heard of the Gray Faulkner Initiative? Have you ever heard of the Gray? Because it's an initiative written by the Professor Cerulean Gray and yours truly, also Charles Faulkner Jr. An initiative, a 52-page initiative for black boys and black men to get into the military, police, fire, STEM, trades. And also we even have different experts where women can join certain things as well. But you know what happens? You don't see the same push for black boys from their mothers. You know why? Because they don't think they can make it. They look down upon their children, their sons. The black community always had a hard on. That is true.
That's not true.
That is true.
That's not true.
When do you say that is true?
No.
Where do you see the
black
push?
women
Black women do not look. Yes, they love their sons. They raise their daughters. Do you hear black women telling their boys that you should go get an education because you don't want to depend upon a woman? Or is it the other way around? You have plenty of black. We have Art Style.
They might not say that quote, but
they don't push them.
You need to go out here and be something.
Yeah, be something to go get a job. But you push your daughters to do what? Get a degree.
No, it's all about the culture that you've been around.
We're in the black culture, right? Are you black?
I am black.
Are you American?
I'm American.
We're in the same goddamn culture.
We are. And for you to sit here and say that women don't care about their sons and we don't try to say and push our sons to go to college, hell, who the hell signed them up
How
for
do you?
financial aid and all
How do
this
you?
other stuff?
Guess what?
Who did
Guess
that?
what? They signed themselves up because they're 18 at the moment anyway. So yeah, that's
No.
how they do it. No, now we're gonna get back to this. 8th grade, only 10% of black boys can read on level. Does that sound like a goddamn push to you?
How can a lot of these women
Does that
can't push
seem like
because
a push to you?
how can
Yes
you
or
expect
no?
for a woman to push a child when she's not educated, when she doesn't understand? So that's not rational, sir.
That is very rational. Even the ladies in the chat said you're not being rational. How is it
I'm
that you're
being
going to tell
rational.
me
Let
you're
me tell
not
you what
being
I do for a
rational?
living.
But then,
Let me tell you
guess
what I
what?
do for a living.
Guess what? Here's the point,
I'm a
right?
social worker. I'm a social worker. Let me just say
How
this.
did I
And
know?
I know
How do I
about the
know?
statistics about.
How do I
No,
know?
I know
How
about
do
the
I? I should have
statistics.
known because guess what? If these social
Go
workers
ahead.
actually knew, trust me, I'm a police officer. I work with social workers. If social workers are actually doing their goddamn jobs, a lot of these children would be raised in these fucking pathetic ass homes,
Yeah,
abused
well,
by
this
their
social worker,
mothers,
that's her job.
abused by
How
their
can you?
mothers.
You cannot. And that's true
Because when
about
a
the
lot of
abuse and
these
what you're
children
talking about.
should have
But
been,
a lot of
a
these,
lot of but yet here it is. You got a
to
father
answer the
who's making
girl in the
something.
chat, the woman in the chat. Huh? Go ahead.
But yet, you as a social worker, you work with who? Predominantly what? White or black people?
Black.
So you go to these black houses. They're predominantly ran by whom?
I'm not denying that the women,
No,
the
no, no, no,
mothers.
no.
Okay,
Answer the question, please, ma'am.
I did. The black women. I answered.
How many of these homes are ran well?
A lot of situations. You're right. They're not ran well. I will agree.
So in other words, what's the definition of insanity?
Doing something over and over again and thinking that you're going to get different results, right?
So if I keep giving the kids to the goddamn mothers that we've been doing for the past 50 years, and we're getting worse, worse, and worse results each passing year, and I have another year to say, fathers, let's bring up the fathers, or raise these boys with their fathers, or give them right back to the mothers, I would be fucking insane to give them back to their mothers, right? Right?
Some mothers, yes.
Right?
I answered the question.
So you want me to qualify insanity over practicality?
No, I didn't say that.
No. So if I know that if I've been doing this way for 50 years and I'm getting worse results, wouldn't it be time to reverse that shit and say, you know what? We need these kids raised by their dads.
So you think that's the answer?
Well, the ultimate answer is having 2-parent households. Until till the day black women actually want to be wives, we got to take the best possible situation we got.
So why
and
aren't we
black women
talking
don't want
about
to be
the
wives.
problems?
The
Why
problem
aren't we talking
is
about the
problem
problems that
is
keeping
this.
us from being together? See, we're not talking about that. All you want to do is talk about
No. Whoa, no. I've talked about the solutions. You didn't see the Great Faulkner Initiative in the chat? You didn't see that thing in the chat? I want you to read this, okay? I want you to download it. I want you to absorb it. How many black women, Black Lives Matter, how many black women, Black Lives Matter made an initiative just for black boys and black boys only? Not including the girls, just to fix the boys. You have daughters?
Yes, I do.
Would you? How old are your daughters?
17 and 10.
So if I have an initiative that can give your daughter the best husband she could get, would you take that offer?
I would.
So why not support it?
I would.
Because number one, if you improve the boys, the society improves. When you improve only the women, the society goes stagnant.
I agree with that. I will agree with that. I will agree. And you know what? I'm going to read. You said you put it in the comment section.
It's right here.
I'm going to download it, and I'm gonna go from there. I don't disagree with you with a lot. I don't know. You got on his panel, and we somehow got into discussion.
And I hope you subscribe. And I hope you subscribe to the channel.
I did, and I didn't. I don't disagree.
I hope you click the bell twice. Did you click the bell twice?
Oh, okay. You want? I'll click it.
I want you to know every time I come on this motherfucker. I want to see you in the chat.
It just.
It's just what it's called. It's called.
It's just very divisive.
Yes. It's not divisive. It's not divisive. It's called honesty. It's called military effectiveness. I have to discern what the problem is before I can correct it. Correct?
No, I'm agree with that. I agree. I'm not this whole feminist person you think I am. In fact, I agree with the male being more. I encourage it, but I do disagree when you say that women, we don't want men. We do. I just think that we have built a culture at this point that is.
In other words, when you look at your moms and your grandmothers, did they teach you all the positives about men, or did little by little, the narrative became more abrupt that niggas ain't shit? Look at what they're being taught by their mothers. Remember, back in the day,
but you gotta understand. You're right about that.
Remember back in the day, your grandmother used to say. Remember back in the day, your grandmother used to tell you, you better stop walking like a dude, or a man not gonna want you. You better close your legs. You know, we used to have something in the Black community called class, etiquette, and culture, where Black men would not be caught dead without wearing a suit, unless he was working on something heavy, like jeans was usually just for mostly work. Remember when Black women wore dresses that actually went to the knee, or actually below the knee? Now, look what you have in a lot of Black women who have the children. They're twerking. I'm sitting there with an ex of mine having a conversation by the harbor in downtown Baltimore, and there's 5 to 6, maybe 7 girls with a fucking 1 to 2-year-old who's barely walking, and they're twerking in front of him, drinking. And I was joking in the car, hey, we should go to the strip joint. And when we sat down, we were like, damn, strip joint ain't us. These are your mothers currently. These are your mothers.
Okay.
With their sons.
Would you not agree that the overall African American culture, we are in trouble? The culture, and listening to the music that these kids listen to today, the culture is in trouble.
You know what? It's called number one, being accountable. It's called number two, the mothers should involve. Number one, I'll say this for any single mother. If you're separated from the father, let's say by chance you're one of them mothers whose father wants nothing to do with the child. What are you doing to put that child? Who's going to be that child's role model as a man? Did you give him a mentor? Did you put him in wrestling, boxing, kickboxing, where he could be around other males and learn how to be a competitive male himself? Or did you make him soft? Because I'm giving people cheap advice. And by the way,
I agree.
And by the way, Make that goddamn Cash App ring because I'm putting on a fucking classic tonight. Okay? Charles, you need to run for office. I would vote for you because I would believe in your vision. See, my vision is make the mission great again. Okay? Yes, I believe black men and black women can get their shit together. As long as black women will shut up and listen. Yes, be our counsel. Yes, be our refuge. But sometimes being our refuge is knowing when to shut up. Even my ex said that to her daughter. She was like, you're not going to get a man. She was like, why? Because you don't know when to shut the hell up. This is a woman saying that, by the way.
No, I agree. I'm digressing because what you don't realize is a lot of points I agree with you.
But what you need to do is actually agree and tell the women who don't. Like, yo, you download the initiative, right?
Yes, I'm going to download. Yes.
Did you?
I will.
Yes, it's a yes or no, ma'am.
That's a no. I haven't yet.
So here you go. One more time for the old studio. You ain't gonna run from this goddamn initiative, just like this verb last with it either. Gotta do you like back in the day, grab you by the fucking arms. Whoop that ass back and whoop that ass. Now download that. While you're not speaking, download this motherfucker right now. You have sons?
No, boys. I wish I did.
But it works for your daughters too, so download that motherfucker. Does your daughter have a boyfriend?
No.
Do you have nephews?
No. Girls rule our world.
Yeah, so no male cousins in your family.
Yes.
Do you have males who live in your goddamn neighborhood?
I have male cousins. I have males that live in my neighborhood. Yes.
So download this motherfucker now and give it to them.
I will.
Now I'm gonna bring whoever wants to come up. I'm gonna bring them up. We got Royal. We got Mel. Mel, you buzzing?
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Mel? What's up, Royal?
What's good? What's good?
People don't understand. Y'all do know why they call me the undefeated in the East, right? Like small fry, baby, small fry.
It's not the point they don't understand. I think they do understand. They don't care because that would change their whole narrative that they want to stay stuck to for so many years and stuff. It's easy to stay stuck in the same mind frame. It's like it became a drug to them, and so much. It's like that dopamine. Let me feed this dopamine of this negative stuff that they hear about us so much to make me feel good so long. They got so immune to it. It's almost like you ever play Mortal Kombat when Chain Song sucks up their soul and they turn to a skeleton. It's sort of like that. But this time, the soul sucker is the thing that give them that medicine. They got so used to it, they don't realize they aging out so faster than what it is.
Yeah. I mean, Leo, it's stupid. Charles wins flawless victory, logically.
Yo. And you know what? By the way, man, I ain't gonna front. I played the last 3 Mortal Kombat game in story mode. That's actually way better than the damn movie that just came out. That's the perfect. Exactly.
That story mode was awesome, man.
Oh yeah, even the aftermath.
It's funny. I'm gonna need Josh and Leon to come up as well, and Mike if you can as well too, because first of all, we work in law enforcement. Josh, Mike, and myself are police officers, and Leon's a correctional officer. We see the aftermath of what goes on. It's not like we're bullying. You didn't see me bully this. You didn't hear me bully this lady, did you, Rael and Mel?
I don't know.
Say that
Baby
one more
these women
time.
don't be bullying.
Did I bully her?
Nope.
I mean, in this day and age, man, using logic in a conversation or discussion comes off as bullying. So,
Exactly.
I'm just like, how did
Talking
I
to
do
them
with
in
the
a
how did
stern way.
how did
With
you how did
facts.
you think I did with the logic?
I mean, the logic,
That was
spot
perfect.
on. I mean, man, we just have, I want to just go back to something that she said that I think she slipped in. That has been something that has been used as a way to get away with bad behavior. And she said something that I've been hearing on social media from Black females since about 2012, 2013. And it's called We All Need Healing.
Mhm.
And
In other words, they're broken women. Is that what she's trying to claim?
can
My
I finish?
brother, oh, sorry, Ralph.
Please,
Sorry,
sir.
Ralph. My mistake.
It's interesting that she used that word because I've heard it enough to know that I'm realizing now that that's not being said to just avoid accountability. That's part of the reason, but I believe that the actual main reason why they say that is because they know they're broken. When they say, sometimes, man, people tell you the truth. It's just you just need to know how to actually hear the truth. You know, she's not saying it's not like she came out and said, "Yeah, I know we fucked up." Now, if you heard it that way, you would be like, "Okay, well, damn, she keeping it real." She didn't say that in those terms, but that's exactly what she was saying. Now, the issue, the problem is, it comes in is when y'all know that you need help, go get the help, and stop trying to use Black men as your emotional punching bags for being raised improperly by your mothers, most notably, but some of y'all been raised by your grandmothers and your aunts, and maybe sometimes an older sister or whatever, due to poor circumstances. And you putting the responsibility on Black men to heal you in a relationship. That's not our job. We're not qualified to heal you through a broken relationship. And so what I like about the research that I've done as far as like daughters who come from these mothers who are narcissistic, and there's a whole bunch of research that's out here. There's books out here that's written by people who have actually had therapy sessions with these specific types of women, because it's not just Black females who are dealing with this; it's white females too. And they are across the board saying the same thing, that many of these females who are acting like this, making poor decisions and things like that, because for a long time, and even when I was younger, I thought this was the truth too, because I just didn't know. Many of them used to be able to get away with the reason why these women are acting like this is because they didn't have a dad. Then many of us start doing much more research, and we start saying like, wait, hold up, this ain't got nothing to do with that. Your femininity ain't got anything to do with your dad. You cannot have a dad around and your mother can still be a feminine woman and teach you femininity. And it ain't got nothing to do with your dad. Now, what your dad can do is your mother can teach you how to be, and your father can teach you how to value yourself. So that's when he's going to come in and be like, okay, this guy is saying what? He said, what do you? Okay, well, he's trying to run game. Don't fall for it. That's how your dad can actually show you the ropes in terms of what kind of things to expect from men who just want to give you draws. But before you can even value yourself as a woman, you have to be taught how to actually be one. And what we're constantly seeing, especially in a conversation like this, when we listen to when we watch these interviews with Kim, what we're constantly seeing with women with bonnets on their heads, with women 5'3", 23 years old, no kids, 280 pounds, We're seeing that we have a plethora of women who have not been taught how to be an actual woman, to actually be with a man. And it makes no sense because we have had a whole bunch of advances in terms of food, knowing what to watch out for your food intake, workout facilities, you name it. So it defies logic. It defies logic that women, the more quote unquote educated they are, the more they're out of weight. And I was actually reading an article that was dealing with this, basically saying that the more education Black women attain, the fatter they get, which is the inverse of white women. And so what we have to really understand is that when they throw out that healing thing, it's not just them trying to avoid accountability. They're actually telling the truth. And if any of you men hear that from a female, man, you should run for the hills, because she's telling you that she needs healing and she hasn't done the work, and you're not obligated to try to help her heal herself. That's not your responsibility. Now, if she's going through the healing and going to get the counseling consistently, and you see the results, and you're like, okay, I can see she's really making that effort. If you choose to engage on that level, then that's one thing. But in terms of her just throwing that out there as an excuse, like, oh, I get to just treat you like crap because I've been broken by my mom. No, she need to go deal with her mom. She need to go talk to her mom, and she need to hash that out with her mom, because that's whose feet she needs to lay at. Not her father, not random Black men who she's going to try to put into place mentally as the person who has ruined her life in terms of Black men. But she need to lay the blame and the responsibility where it ultimately lays, which is her mother, because her mother is supposed to help her develop her femininity, which is supposed to help her identity develop into the woman she's supposed to be.
Whew, that was a lot, and I loved it. Well, it wouldn't be right if it wasn't. It would not be right, Al, if it was not. That's some deep shit, brother. I cannot disagree there. Now we got where's my man Nino?
Hey man, what's up? I like what Ryo had to say as well. You know, he give us a long version, but it's always on point. Yeah, but anyway, what I want to say, man, is being credentially certified doesn't mean that you're fully qualified. And that's what you've proven today on the panel when you had the female up, you know, trying to get through to her, you know, your points. And she mentioned that she was a social worker. You know, this is why the system within a system is so corrupt. You know, because they give these Black women these high society conservative suit positions. You know, and they take and run with it, knowing the truth in the communities, because the Black communities, because they live in them themselves. But, you know, they want that control, and that control makes them delusional, you know. Even when they just see what's wrong in the community, they're not willing to correct it. They're willing to deflect from the truths and not listen, you know. And for some reason, you made her listen today.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, because this is actually the rematch, because the first time was on the Average channel earlier, and I just said, you know what, come over to my channel, we'll hash it out 101. I'm like this. You can't say that I'm a soldier by trade, okay? I'm a trained soldier. I'm a trained police officer, certified in both. Yes, I can hit a fucking target 300 meters away, and I wear glasses without the motherfuckers. I qualified 38 out of 30 with a rifle with somebody else's weapon, 0 to their eyesight. I'm that damn good. I know what the hell I'm talking about. Being a soldier, guess what I have to do? I have to make an assessment whether I have to be truthful. Should we take that hill, or should we just retreat? Is it worth keeping ground, or we gotta move back, or we gotta surround it? You have to look at things as they are and not what you want them to be. And this is what a lot of Black women do not want to do. They don't want to look at the reality, because when they look at reality, they're going to see the futility of their statements. of their actions. Even when I said the thing about insanity, so we should keep giving 90% of the children to the women. If you don't want to be in groups married to us, what should we do? We should keep taking abuse. We know damn well a lot of fathers say the manosphere wouldn't even exist if a lot of these fathers were pushed away from their damn kids. You could have easily debunked and dismantled the black manosphere if this shit did not even occur. But I'd be goddamn, somebody's going to tell me that what I'm saying is ludicrous. We're going to look
Excuse me, Charles Faulkner.
Yes, sir.
First of all, this is I am Mike Tyson, and I just want to tell you that what you're saying is absolutely ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous.
It's insanity, man. It's insanity.
Of course, it's insane. But understand, brother, as somebody who's been in the armed forces and who served in Iraq, you would have realized what you were dealing with here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like my man Patrice O'Neill once said: "Women are insurgents." And what's also one important thing that the United States government said it never does: you do not negotiate with terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he described women as emotional terrorists. That's what the whole thing about keeping the children from their fathers.
It is. You got to understand, number one, you can't state for one damn moment, a lady who has daughters, what you want to be able to build the husband that she could get? And hopefully she did download the Gary Faulkner Initiative. And I want her
I've got
back
money
on a
she's not
future-
going to read it.
And I want her to come back on a future, live stream to tell me what she thinks of it.
What I really want to add to is, you know what? How many men in your lifetime did you curve? Because she's not married, right? She said she's not married, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, single mother. Okay, how many men did you curve, looked over, and she's in the late 30s, 40s?
36.
She's in her mid-30s, 36.
Okay. How many men that she curved all her life up until now that she looked over versus the men that she actually planned on having a baby with? And for her to say that all men is this and that, guarantee it's going to be the 80-20 rule, 90-10. And it already shows because she's a single mother. How many kids she got? She said she had two? Just one or two?
I think just two.
Oh, see? Exactly. Out of all the potential brothers that come at her, and she ignored and still want to say men ain't doing this and that, which men chooses who is going to become a wife. Women chooses who is going to have sex.
Or become a
But
father.
saying that is so saying
Repeat
that
that again
is,
now.
you know what I'm saying? Yo, from those two kids that you had babies with, and technically I guess they was planned, but irresponsibly planned. Because you didn't marry, she got one baby father or two.
So let me understand this straight. You're trying to tell me that these two kids were like keep a nigga babies? Is that it?
They could be that too, but I don't want to say that far. But most likely, being that she's saying men ain't this and that, yet you ain't married. She got one baby daddy, right? It was one or two.
Thank you, Leon, for supporting the stream. Those others, hey, hit the chat, hit the cash out if you love to be entertained and you have such a love to be educated.
Like I was saying, she got two baby daddies or one? She get two kids. I'm asking Charles. Yeah.
She had two daughters.
Two daughters? No, but two baby daddies or the same dad?
I don't know. Didn't ask.
Let's hope. You know what?
Yeah, he didn't get that far. I think he was just only asking her, if she had sons, and she said no, she didn't have any sons.
Yeah, but the whole fact I'm trying to get to is and everything, they still chooses they mate and they keep thinking that it's all guys, mostly at the 80%, and it's actually the lower percent. See what's happening now that the 70% that these females curved, friend zone looked over, they're starting to put their foot down and saying, no, I'm not being your cleanup guy anymore. I'm not letting you waste my time anymore. I gave you a chance when you didn't have no babies, when you was at your best, and now you want me, now I have to take you at your worst. And now that we're saying no, I would even go as far as do what Obsidian plan is and start charging chicks for non-sexual attention. Which that's actually happening right now. There's a website called Rent a Friend. So
Ooh.
exactly, yep. So I think dudes should start doing that also too, because
No, you could be making mad dough doing that. You know that?
yeah, exactly.
You got kids, right? You got kids?
Nope.
Okay, because I was thinking if you did have kids, you'd be putting your sons through college that way and some shit like that.
Of course. Hey, I guarantee male escorts, they tell you themselves most of the time it's not even about sex. This is the attention. The men pay for sex. The females, they pay for more attention. So like the Deuce Bigelow movies and shit.
That depends on what region of the country you're in.
Yeah, that's
definitely about money when it comes to men doing that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And the clientele.
You can you can get sex anywhere on the corner of just being a man and don't have to pay for it.
Exactly. But most likely, if females are paying for, they paying for more for attention, actual companionship than men are paying for sex. But mostly, being that they wasting a lot of dudes' times the way they is and using them up, they're starting to put their foot down and saying, "No, I'm tired of being a cleanup guy. I'm not going to pander to you anymore."
Exactly.
And stuff.
You gotta think about it, folks.
They learn the value of their time, basically.
You gotta think about it,
Time
folks.
is money.
Time is money, and I get paid. Unless you pay me $50 to stay here, because a whole hour is like $50. Come on now, this is overtime. When I'm off, I get time and a half, so that's like what, 65, almost 70. You
And
got $70 in your pocket.
And not to mention shift differential if you're working overnight.
Oh, I'm midnights too, so shit, bitch paying up the yin yang to be with me.
Mm-hmm.
See, the one thing you'll learn from my channel, you call me an asshole all you want, but you can't call me a liar. Can't say I'm wrong. See, I may not have the biggest channel, may not have the loudest voice, but guess what? I'm a little old school. And I'm gonna bring the thunder like like the goddamn man pointing the sword in back of us. Because guess what? I got the power of logic.
Charles, since a lot of women been getting on the panel back and forth here lately, I be hitting you up in the middle of the night, man. Get on. Look, it's some shit that's going down. But anyway, I don't talk about the many books that I have. Because I'm not Rael, but I do read a whole lot, believe it or not. And I just want to let everybody know that I've been reading and the Fourth Power, The Laws of Human Nature. I know Rael probably know about that, The Original Man and Woman, and that's on page 348 and further. And it talks about all these things that are happening in the spaces right now. With the women, coming up on the panel and deflecting and not, really getting, to the point. They have a lot of disagreements, but they can't tell you what they disagree with, and they're assuming that all of us are the same, about the complaining, wanting, I don't want no woman that's not, that I'm not interested in, period, point blank. I'm not going to waste my time worrying about if you slim, you thick, or if you wearing hair weaves. I don't think now if you mistreating your children and you are feminizing your son, that's a problem for me. That's it.
Exactly.
Let me say this, man. Let me say this right quick. Well, I'm gonna tell two actual stories. Okay, so one of my ladies, she was at the laundromat, And she carries herself very well, and she had to go there because waiting on our replacement wash and dry. And a white woman in her 70s approached her. And I want y'all to listen up good to this, boy.
Somebody got their mics up to where we can't hardly hear you, Rael.
I'll talk a little bit louder. The white woman approached her.
No, I'm talking about somebody need to mute their mics. Okay.
I got it.
The white woman asked her, how old was she? She thought she was in her 20s. And she was like, no, I'm not in my 20s. So then she asked her, was she married? She's like, no, I'm engaged. So then she said, she asked her another question, and she was like, where's this conversation going? And so the white woman proceeded to tell her basically her life story. The white woman was about 70 years old, and she basically met this man who worked at a hotel. And overnight, basically what happens is when he's on shift, she will give him some head to be able to sleep in one of the rooms for a couple hours so she can take a bath, clean herself. And then, when his shift is over, she has to leave for the day, whatever. And in a nutshell, she basically said that she had, got married when she was younger. She had the man that she needed to have. She was married. She was, the man was heavily in business, very successful. He's known in, these parts of Texas. She wouldn't tell her who he is. But she thought that she wanted to be an independent woman. And she was literally, all the stuff that we hear from Black women as far as independence, don't need a man, she was all of that. And she said to her that she don't even try to talk to white women. She don't try to talk to white women because she know white women ain't gonna listen to her. She said the people that she tries to help are women of color, Black women, Hispanic women, Asian women. And she said that if she could do it all over again, she would have stayed home and been a stay-at-home wife. She said, my husband just wanted me to be at home and just bake some cookies, man. Like he wasn't even asking for that much. She said, but I thought that I was being so bad trying to be a working woman. And the thing about it was her job wasn't even that special. She was a receptionist. So basically what she wanted to do was go to work and look cute for other men. That was basically the gist of it. And she was like, basically, she has been hoeing since she lost this man. And she said white women time is coming. She was like, we messed up and we're messing up. And she was like, that's one of the reasons why she was like, I don't talk to them because they won't listen. She was like, but she's like one of the, basically like, you women of color do not want to do what we've done. And it was just, man, when she told me the story, I was just like, wow. because it would be one thing if a black female told a story, but coming from the mouth of a white woman who had it all, her own daughter doesn't even talk to her. That's how deep it is. Her own daughter doesn't even talk to her. And to have this life that she had, and she said if she could go back, she would. And how that one bad decision she made basically started her on a trajectory to basically where she is now. So let's not get this confused. All these women who come in with all this independence and don't need a man type stuff, the white woman admitted, she was like, man, this is coming from us. She was like, and it's coming for us too. So any of you women, man, listening, man, I'm telling you, if you don't straighten up, man, and shape up, man, your ass is gonna get shit out. And you gonna be right out here, like so many other women out here, like her, in your 60s and 70s, having to deal with the kind of lifestyle that she has to deal with because she made a bad choice in her 20s when she had already won in her 20s. She had a very powerful man, powerful businessman who would have gave her the world, and all she had to do was just take it. And instead of taking it, she rejected it.
Yeah.
And that was deep.
I think that's the issues of modern women now.
Mm-hmm.
You bet on your education, which we all know isn't shit. You bet on it and think that we're supposed to somehow, some way, think that's going to get you out the ghetto. No, that makes you, one, less desirable to men of that stature because they don't want to deal with anybody like that.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even coming humbly in the joint. And then the worst thing about it is you put yourself out there to get prostituted. I don't know what the hell to say to that. You know, like, share, subscribe, donate. Shit, just under a little over 2 hours. This is already a classic. You know, I know we losing some subscribers because the master teacher went up live. So
Hey, but it's all good though. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good. You know, I thought this was a very good educational point.
And I think that since everybody is talking in their spaces right now, your
Mhm.
topic goes directly with what's going on in the manosphere, you know, like, you know, all the jealousy and all the bickering back and forth. And when it comes down to it, it's all about money. It's all about
Exactly.
money, you know.
That's definitely a fact.
I've said it all the time. Make the mission great again. I'm gonna get the T-shirts made out. I know come on, goddamn it, Nino. We gotta get the T-shirts out. Gotta get the make
Well, you
the
know,
mission.
Thing is, if you get them, make sure they the perfect fit and they're not the typical. What's the #1 brand that all these? You can tell they the cheap T-shirts. You don't want those.
Oh yeah, you want them slick fitting T-shirts. Maybe mine's a V-neck. I've been working on my chest. But it's crazy because, like Ryle just said with his story, there are women who'd rather be the queen of hell than the servants of heaven. For what? Not to even have your children speak to you? To the man who gave you all, just shake his head, and next thing you know, he replaces you with somebody younger and better?
And more compliant
Mm-hmm.
and more agreeable.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put it this way. Men want peace. Women want to be right. So the question is, how far is a woman going to go to prove that point, that she's right all the time before she admits she's wrong? No woman will admit she's wrong unless it's in her best interest to do so. But even then, it's just she's just faking the funk just to try to get in that man's grace.
And if she's
I've learned.
I'm saying if she's over talking you and you let her win, then she feels she's won. And that's what happens all the time. And if you don't, take control even in the conversation and just brush it off, she's gonna always think she's right.
That's why I prefer not to engage with certain people like that, because if I know what kind of personality you have, I was like, I don't want to deal with that. Because I've been around too many. I've been around narcissists to know that this is a dysfunctional person. I need to get away from that person.
Mm-hmm.
No, go ahead, Mel.
No, you go on. You finish it.
I mean, when I listened to this conversation, Charles, first of all, this was not a split decision. This was a decisive blowout. This is Velasquez. This is Velasquez dos Santos 2 or Velasquez and dos Santos 3. If you remember that trilogy.
Oh my God, he just beat the hell out of him. 5 rounds.
He mauled him 5 miles. In the second one, in the third one, Junior tried to take him down. He missed. He slipped. He bumped his own head, so he had to tap just to quit because he realized he concussed himself.
He was tired. He just pushed him to a point where he could.
But remember when he tried to take him down? No, the third one. Remember the third fight?
Yeah, he not hit his head and he tapped out because he couldn't. He was exhausted.
He probably concussed himself. Because they stopped the fight once you knocked out, hit the mat. Like, oh no, stop. Because they know when somebody gets concussed like that. But anyway, all I heard was just basically the same shit I've listened to since 2012. No, nothing against you, Charles.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Mel.
Mm-hmm.
You remember listening to Black Phillip?
No. When was this?
You never listened to Black Phillip? Oh man.
Phillip? No.
Because all I heard was that, because that was exactly what I was hearing. It was basically Patrice O'Neal versus Yamanika Saunders or against Kara Foster, because she was deflecting. This was like counterinsurgency. Basically, she was trying to come at him like with some guerrilla warfare against it, and thinking he's just gonna engage like conventional war, like he was in conventional warfare. Because after all, Charles is an Iraq veteran.
Hey, I see that all the time on Cameron Sammy's show, and I go through this online on my Facebook, talking with some of my female friends. Deflect, shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. Do it all the time when they know you proving them wrong, and you got the fact to back it up.
And then they try to flip this table. Exactly. And then they start to go to shaming tactics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then they go into other collateral matters not pertaining to what you asked to throw you off from the conversation.
And
you ain't shit, nigga. First of all, you do this, you do that, you do this. See my point?
They trying to give you advice to try to like, you need to take this advice. That's why you are this and that and whatever. I'm like, yeah.
She wants it to be your fault. Exactly. She wants it to be your fault. That's why she's doing that. She's like, I remember, was it like,
you don't know my life, blah blah blah. What makes you an expert, blah blah blah. Well, obviously,
man, you sound Puerto Rican when you said that, man. You don't know my life.
Hey,
Mira, you don't know my life.
I am from the Bronx.
South side?
North.
Oh, okay.
See, I tell you one thing about this shit, man. It's anybody who's been with me and followed me for the last few years. This is next month is going to start the 1-year anniversary of the channel. Live streaming anyway, not the channel. So
time to upgrade.
It's time to upgrade a little by little. Seeing a little improve. See the facts of the matter is now. You can't. The arguments are so tight. There was nothing she could say that, like, literally, like, she gave me 30 subscribers today because from Hammer's channel, and I'm looking at the whole thing like, shorty, you're a social worker. Everything we're talking about is what you see. She even had to admit that most of these houses are not ran correctly. They're not this, they're not that. So how the hell can you try to debunk something that we're talking about day in, day out. We see it. You don't see a lot of times, it's the black man who wants to enjoy it. And you have some of our black women that you see in the chat, like a Shonda H, a Toya, and others, and, Black Swan, who want to see, they got daughters or children or whomever, or sons who they want to see become better.
But you know what, Charles? What has been happening here lately is when the men ask these women that get up on the panel, why don't you just give custody to, to the father of, let the boy go with his dad, oh no, that's my child, it's more of that. They won't say, well, he needs to show that he could take care of him. Boys don't have to be, coached to be, it's different when sons are with their fathers. They don't get that. They thinking that, they need to take care of their sons the way they take care of their daughters.
I'm starting to see even worse that kind of irks me. And I feel like I just want to smack the shit out of these girls. I'm sorry to sound like that violent, but I'm starting to see videos of mothers arguing with the child's father, trying to do his job, and they got the child's godmother, her best friend, interfering with that. I seen a video like that, and I'm like, if I was that young man's brother or uncle, I would have told that child's mother's friend, stay the fuck out of this. You are not my bloodline. That's my nephew, my brother's son. You're nowhere near our bloodline. Take your ass home, or I will escort your ass home physically. That's serious.
And that's why
they allow this to happen this level. That this is how far it has been going, and so many females, they took it too far. You're allowing your best friend to interfere in her child's father from raising his kid.
Or even before most of us were even born.
Or even in the marriage, man, even in the marriage, and that's why some marriages don't last, because you got that one female friend that's interfering, and the crazy part is you got some females that tomorrow they're gonna still be with the motherfucker, so stay out of it,
Yeah, that's
like, you have nothing to do with this. Like, I don't care if you're your best friend, but that's by law. You don't have nothing to do with this. That's between mother and father.
Shout out to Go.
I remember a movie about that. What Nino's saying? I remember a movie about that. Y'all remember? Was it Gabrielle Union was in a movie called Deliver Us from Eva?
Oh man,
with LL Cool J, and everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you gotta
fellas, don't even do it. Don't go there. Don't use the route. That's not gonna work.
You got to remember this, man. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of shit that we just need to, just on a humble. There's some shit that we just gonna have to, on a humble, steer the fuck away from. We should not. We should be on our square. We should not accept bullshit. We should not accept stupidity. Because once you start accepting stupidity, what else are you going to accept? Remember that.
Yep.
You're going to accept anything and everything.
Don't discount your manhood.
No.
You know what?
Guess what? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's true, man. I don't normally watch TV, but I watched a show called Ready to Love, which is nephew Tommy from the Steve Harvey show.
Oh man,
show that's on OWN, and I'm gonna tell you.
Oh man, strike two.
Hey, and I don't watch TV. That's the whole point. Not like that, but I saw an episode where the girl, the couples were to invite their exes in to approve of the other guy. I was like,
what?
That's some straight up blue shit.
What?
Yeah. And of course, the dude gonna say,
"Oh,
hey,
this is some bullshit.
You don't need to be with him. He's no good because he want to be with her too."
Was inviting your ex who was gonna dirty Mac the hell out. Yo, what type of shit? Yo, I'm like, you know what? That was them contestants is the guys made the big mistake right there by volunteering to go on that show. There's already strike 3 automatically.
You know what?
I got something better though. You ever see? There was this. It was from another video I saw, YouTuber, but I know what
Okay.
show that came from. I think it was this show. Probably was on MTV when people tattoo something on their bodies and it'd be a message that they don't like or something like that. This dude broke up with his girl by tattooing it on her back, saying you're dumped, and she was very upset. But the funny thing about it, though, he did it because
What?
Yeah, he tattooed you're dumped on the back of her back.
Oh,
the funny thing about it though, I mean that's the funny thing about it. But the reason why he broke up with her because he said, every time we go through arguments and everything, you post it online, trying to make herself look good like she's the innocent victim. He was tired of it. He was fed up.
Yeah.
So like,
hold on, Charles. Can you put up? Charles, can you put up what Shonda just said? Because I want to read it out loud.
Yeah.
Okay, let me read it out loud. It's a power play. A lot of women don't want to relinquish control over the children. Or they haven't got over the children's father, and a child is a way to keep the man around when the relationship has ended. Thank you, Nurse Shonda.
Exactly.
Facts.
Another fact also too, if she hasn't moved on first, then she damn sure gonna have power over that our child's father. See, women always want first dibs on everything. The first to break up, the first to initiate relationships and all that shit. But see, when the man moves on, and especially if he moves on to someone more attractive than his baby mom, more feminine, and having a better lifestyle,
then she
be
put
more happier
on him, and it don't even be that
exactly.
Child.
Not just that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nino.
Yeah, that's
not just that. Not just that. Sorry, you're forgetting something. If the dude breaks up with the woman, because remember, women want plausible deniability, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So, like they said, was it like old pimps would say, like a woman will make 1,000 excuses why she won't fuck a man, but 1,000 more why she did. If the dude breaks up with her, she's not gonna say she got dumb. She's gonna be like, oh no, he was just a fuck boy or a fuck nigga or some shit.
Exactly.
That term is used to give her plausible deniability, to say that you're just a sex object. Because she's trying to like control. It's all about controlling the narrative. It's narrative control. She's trying to control the narrative.
Of course, because guess what? He who controls the narrative controls the story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you all, Charles. Speaking of which, you checked out what's going on with Diego Sanchez, just the UFC.
I know
he parted ways with what's his face. I'm not gonna put his name out there, but that dude's now been going on a smear campaign on social media, talking shit about him.
The same way Tommy's doing with Kwame.
Well, Diego's one of the reasons why the UFC's in the modern era that it's in now.
The dream, aka the nightmare.
Oh man. All these smear campaigns you see.
I'm about to write this up. We're about to join everybody to join me over there at the Master Teachers joint. Thank you for making this a classic.
This is gonna be fun.
Okay, that's cool. But let me say something before we go, and I want to hit on that.
Put the link up on the chat.
That Kwame situation. Now, Kwame made a video this morning that I saw. And it was really good, and he just say, man, you dudes is making me shy away from this group that you wanted me to be a part of. He called them the internet YouTube dudes. He didn't say the manosphere, but that's what he's referring to, because he's seeing all this fighting, and when it's supposed to be a brotherhood, and that brother is strictly, he's really about brotherhood and trying to bring people together. It's not about who's this and who's that, who's better, who has the best channel, who has the best talking points. We all here to, gain something from each other and to win, it ain't about who got the most money, but I see that if you got one that's way up, then you get the other one say, well, I deserve that.
Exactly, like a male.
Oh, that's an ego problem. That's an ego.
No, exactly, a little richer problem. That's what TS is acting like right now. Freaking Little Richard, motherfucker.
You know what? And it's drawing me away from the whole space. Real talk.
Hold on, Mel.
Some people's channels I feel like I start following behind this
Mel?
mess. Yeah, huh?
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but hang on, let me get some water.
Yeah. Water is so good.
Ain't nothing like that good old H2O. But anyway, first of all, I don't like you comparing me to that loudmouth motherfucker. You don't disrespect Little Richard like that. No. I'm mad. I'm still mad, even though I've been dead. But I'm still so pretty. But no, as far as my name goes, shut up.
And that's how he's acting like right now too. I'm seeing two guys doing this.
Charles, Charles, Mel. You guys are like offensive linemen, and you guys give me an opening, and I'm gonna run with it like a running back. That's what the fuck this is. You know you're my brother, right? You know I love you like that. Yeah,
I'm gonna get down and Charles, I guess I'll see you over there if I decide if they're talking about something. If they're not, you need to open back up. I'm just kidding.
After party. Man, what's the link? Post the link in the chat. If someone else want to come.
No, I'm just gonna go to. You can go directly to the Master Teacher's channel. I think he'll put the link in the chat.
I put it in the chat.
If it's not full, because you know you got to RSVP that motherfucker.
Yeah, because I'm getting tired.
Yeah, that is true. Because one thing about it, this has been another classic, and thank you for the email, Shonda. That topic is great. Woo! Because me and Shonda's gonna tag team for a topic about men's health from hypertension to ED.
Oh, I gotta get on that. I gotta get on that chat.
And everything that you
talk
need.
about men's health. Wait, you guys can't wait till November for that?
Hey, we can't wait because some niggas may not make it that long if we don't talk about it.
You know what? Fair point.
Now, when the summer's here, you shouldn't be eating so much. True.
You're right.
So we got to talk about it this week coming up. I think whenever Shonda's available, we exchange information. We're gonna just, this is a network and this is a family. See, this is something where we have Black women giving you advice. See, this is what I'm talking about. Black women in their profession saying, we want to show you how much we love our Black men. We want you to stay alive.
You know what? I seen this one lady on Bernard's channel in the chat room made a comment, and that's the first lady I finally get why the manosphere is here. We are a balance. We're bringing the balance because they're just reacting out of what women been saying for so many years of their lives and everything. So you know what? We're bringing the balance, and now the balance is here. Now it's time to come to the middle. We're waiting. Where y'all at? How long y'all gonna wait? Because we got a lot of younger generation now, the younger 20-something-year-olds, starting to put their foot down. We just need them to, you know what? Even the submissive or pick-me's, or they want to say, we need them to be a little more stronger to fight back. A lot of your toxic females out there and stuff. I mean, they're trying to keep it classy, but it's time for those bougies to fight back.
Oh yeah, because guess what? We have an army and we got a family. Who's better to fight beside you in the army than your family?
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that one being said, come join me at the Master Teachers. Like, share, and if we lucky, I might even do an after party. Thank you for all the love. Thank you, Go Professor. Thank you, Rael. Thank you, Namer. Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Josh and Mike. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for the support. And Chaos, we got another one for Volume 3. Volume 3
is Chaos your promoter?
He's the guy who sets up my mixtapes.
This nigga probably getting 10%, huh? Okay, man. Shit, you been bumping up, giving 15. Bumping up to 15.
Chaos Rain. Just Chaos Rain. Go to his channel and subscribe because.
Oh, it's Chaos.
Because what we're gonna do, what we do every so often, we already have Volume 1 and Volume 2, the best of Charles Faulkner. When I'm just laying in the motherfuckers, I mean, this week, from the female cop to this shit. Oh man!
All we need now is good old JR commentating like, "Oh my God, he broke her in half! Oh my God, somebody stop the damn match!"
She got a damn family. Oh man, this is gonna be
Charles Faulkner!
because lately I think it's been more of a teaching than anything else. Because notice I'm having a lot more female subscribers, and they're noticing that I'm not beating them up. I'm just giving them a little. You know how a bear plays with some animals. You know.
Okay, Charles. Before you go, I want to actually read something just to leave the females who try to come off like men are just beating them up all the time, and don't understand the difference between somebody raging at them and somebody actually offering constructive criticism. Because in this group that we have, many women think that using logic to understand the impediments in the environment that prevent you from forward progress and being able to isolate what those issues are, even if it happens to come down to the fact that it's in their lap. Many view that constructive criticism as a personal attack. I always say this, that a person who is irrational views somebody who uses logic and reason as making personal attacks against them. And I wanted to read something from this particular book I have, if you don't mind, Charles. If that's okay. Charles?
You got it. The fabulous life. You got it.
Because this is helpful for not just the women, but for men. Because one thing that Black men are going to have to learn how to not feel is a sense of inadequacy when you can't get a woman to be on the same page with you. And I'm pretty sure that men up here knows what it's like when you know you right and exact, and you know this particular woman is not being on the same page with you, no matter what you do for her. So Black men don't walk around internalizing like they're not good enough, because if you do that, then what you have done is allowed that woman's energy to permeate your being, and now you're thinking like her. So this is from a particular section in the book I got called "Will I Ever Be Good Enough? Healing the Daughters of Narcissistic Mothers." I think it's worthwhile investment, especially for women, but for Black men too, to get to some of the bottom of some of these things that's going on out here. And this is a particular section in a chapter of the book. Let me see. Let me actually get the name of this. It's chapter 8, where it says romantic fallout, trying to win at love where I failed with mom. This particular this particular heading is called "Why We Pick Who We Pick." Now, this is a woman who's a therapist who has dealt with many women who have come in with these issues that we actually didn't know many Black females have been undiagnosed with, and why many of us have so many problems with them. She said, typically the daughter of a narcissistic mother will choose a spouse who cannot meet her emotional needs. Even though our intuition will tell us in some way when something is not right for us, we tend to block it out if it isn't saying what we want to hear. Now, we all know, dealing with Black females, a lot of times we can tell them shit that makes sense and they'll just block it out because they don't want to hear it. When the hope for love blossoms, we override the intuitive inner voice or gut feeling. Years of treating and interviewing daughters with maternal deprivation have shown me that we have a deep sense of intelligent intuition, but it seems to be accompanied by a special brand of deafness in the desperate search for love that did not exist in her childhood. So they're talking about the love she didn't get from her mom specifically. The daughter chooses not to pay attention to the red flags that may be waving. We do know, we just don't listen. In recovery, since that social worker was talking about health, in recovery, you will learn better how to tune into your innate intuitive direction and guidance. You actually choose a partner largely on an unconscious level. As human beings, we are attracted to the familiar. If you not have worked out unfinished business with your mother, I'm going to say that one more time. If you have not worked out unfinished business with your mother, you will likely find yourself with someone who recreates that mother-daughter pattern of behavior. So you basically will pick a man that will make you recreate that dysfunctional relationship with your mother, but it will play out in your personal relationships with a man. Quite scary shit, actually. We also tend to pick partners who are on the same emotional level we are. Healthy relationships are based on an interdependency where both partners move back and forth in the caretaking, but mostly operate as independent adults. This means that neither partner is dependent or codependent. In a dependent codependent relationship, neither partner loves the other for who he or she is as a person. They act out roles and a distorted definition of love. An adult daughter of a narcissistic mother is often misguided in her choices by her unresolved neediness. Need-based relationships are usually unfulfilling because no one can satisfy all of an adult's unmet child needs. But until the daughter addresses this empty void herself, she will expect that someone else can fill her with the feelings of worthiness, competence, and love that she lacks. Many times the adult daughter will choose a partner who can't meet even reasonable emotional needs because she unconsciously wants someone who cannot be emotionally intimate or vulnerable. This is what is familiar to her and what she feels is safe and predictable. Until she enters recovery, she is not especially in touch with her own feelings and therefore needs to partner with someone who is not into the feelings realm either. When a daughter's emotional and intimate needs are unmet, she can easily fall into the blame game rather than own up to having chosen the wrong person. We could clearly hear in this particular person who was a social worker, this is why this shit is so dangerous, because that's what she kept doing throughout the whole entire conversation with Charles. Blame game, blame game. She never wanted to take full responsibility as a woman, and she's a social worker. She somehow would manage to always bring it back. Well, black men this, and well, black men, or it's us. It's not me or us as women. It's all of us. If this sounds familiar, be careful here. You do not want to fall into the narcissistic trap of viewing your partner as either good or bad. So narcissistic mothers making narcissistic daughters. If you turn your idealized partner into a villain, and we know who the villain is in the black community, that's black men, you may then feel compelled to abandon him before he abandons you. Abandonment is a great fear because you felt abandoned. Your parents may have been there physically, but you felt emotionally abandoned. If you are dependent, it will be more difficult for you to leave the relationship. You might stay in an abusive or otherwise unwholesome partnership, feeling that you deserve no better. If you are abandoned by your partner, so if the black man leaves you because you crazy, you might have an unusually difficult time recovering from the loss and rejection because it will trigger your past experience with mother, capital letter M. So there's just some food for thought. I highly recommend this book. It's a great book. It's a great resource because for all these women, just like this social worker that's talking about healing, and I hope she's listening, I would encourage her to buy this book because I would gather more than likely based on how she talked, she was groomed and raised by a narcissistic mother. And until black women are actually dealing with the actual truth that their mothers failed them, because that's a fact. And our parents do fail us to a certain degree because that's just a part of it. But in terms of her not being taught basic attributes and behaviors that she's supposed to represent in order to attract and be able to keep quality men, because that's the key. You can attract men all day long, but can you keep them? Especially if they're good. You know, many of them know that their relationships with their mothers is not great, but many of them are too embarrassed to talk about it because it is a sore spot. It's a very hurtful position to be in because daughters want to be closer to mothers, obviously. You know, that's where they're going to get their identity from to a large extent. The problem is that too many black women are being handed down a narcissistic identity through their mothers and their bad behaviors. and because they have not had the courage to actually stand up to their mothers and call it out, they just basically continue the generational curse that is of the narcissistic behavior. And instead of holding their mothers accountable, they come out here into the real world and push all this negative baggage onto black men as if it's a problem for black men to solve, when it's a problem for them to solve in counseling. And I'll leave it there.
Excuse me,
Thank you
Rael.
once again. Thank you once again,
One
Rael,
question.
for that knowledge.
Rael, the question.
Yeah.
Since we're on the talk about narcissistic parents, are you familiar with a person named H.G. Tudor?
No.
He is apparently he's or are we familiar with a gentleman named Sam Vaknin by any chance as well?
Say that again.
Sam Vaknin or Shmuel Vaknin.
Oh yeah,
He has
I
a
know
book
about him. Obsidian had interviewed him on the show before.
Sam Vaknin?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, H.G. Tudor is an Englishman who's similar to Sam Vaknin. Only he was diagnosed as both having ASPD and NPD. So he's put up books on narcissism, trying to teach people how to avoid narcissists and protect themselves from narcissistic abuse and shit like that. He's got a YouTube channel you might want to check out.
What's his name?
If you're interested.
Oh, never mind.
Let me type it in the back chat.
H.G. Tudor, I got it.
H.G. Tudor, yeah. I've listened to this dude, and because I've been around narcissists as well. So I'm like, what? We should go talk about that stuff sometime.
Yeah, definitely, folks. Thank you all for dropping with the knowledge. I'm gonna go over to the master's teacher, see what he's talking about, and maybe if I'm not tired or not busy, might do another after party. How that sound, folks?
All right.
Thank you. Woo! And we out.